Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our session for today. Today's conversation promises to be informative, and I have the pleasure of talking with a dear friend of mine, Joke Pearl of Liceau, and we'll be talking all things AI and marketing. How are you?
I'm
How has
good,
your day been?
and it is so amazing to be here with you today.
I think that our conversation is so important. It's a new year. A lot of entrepreneurs are planning and trying to identify the right strategies for their businesses this year. But I would say before we get started, I just want people to know about you. Who is Jokepel and what is Liso? Who is Liso? And then we can go from.
My name is Joke Pearl. I'm a marketing consultant, and I am really passionate about businesses, entrepreneurs, and small, enterprises, and all of that. Why? Because I realize that a lot of us entrepreneurs we spend time servicing our clients but not enough time growing the business. And there are two different mindsets, right? There's this mindset you adopt when you want to give excellent service. And there's another one when you say, you know what, I'm here at point A, I want to go to point B by the end of the year. What do I need to do? What are the steps that I need to take? And that is where we come in to say, you know what, there's this gap. Let's help you bridge it in terms of the skill you need, the accountability you need to bring that ecosystem of clients and leads into your business. So that's where we are.
Perfect. Okay, let's get into the meat of things. We titled this session AI and Marketing for Entrepreneurs. I know that's a broad topic, but for anyone that is either joining us live or will watch the replay, we promise that our goal for this session is that you're coming out of here learning something new that you did not find in ChatGPT, because we're talking about our learned experiences, what we have read, experts' interpretation of the times when it comes to AI and marketing. So I'll say, Joke, for you, why is AI and marketing important? But I want you to talk about it from two categories: for new entrepreneurs and for existing entrepreneurs.
So that's an amazing question because everywhere you turn to these days, AI, it's in the air. Even my grandmother, I'm sure. But how does it apply to us as entrepreneurs? And I would say it's in two different ways. And it really connects back to what I said earlier about servicing the client and growing the business. So for servicing the clients, we look at AI in terms of helping to simplify our operations, automating the things that we would normally do on a manual basis, maybe onboarding clients, setting up your payment system. There are lots of AI tools that can do that for you. The common trap that we fall into is working in the business and not working on the business. And that is where AI and marketing comes in. The way I see AI is it is the new labor. So in the Stone Age, we had, for you to make money to earn a living, you had to use manual tools. The stones, you need to strike stones together to create fire and all of that. Then we moved to the Industrial Age, where we no longer worked on foot. We had cars to take us from point A to point B. We had blenders, for example, right? We can use blenders to make purees and soups. But now we're in the AI age. And what that means is we are able to leverage AI as labor in our business. What that means is the things that would have taken you 10 hours to do, you can now do it in less time with AI being the labor. If you had to use 1 million years to create content in the past, there are AI tools you can use today to get that done faster and quicker. But then the trap is, I see a lot of people focusing on, so what tool should I use now? Which one is relevant to me? And I say, you know what, just take a step back and pause. Take a breath in and breathe out. You have just three things that is key for you as a CEO, as an entrepreneur. You are generating leads, you are converting those leads to clients, and you are creating more buying opportunities for the existing clients that you have. For generating leads and for converting them to clients, new entrepreneurs, existing one, we do that very well. But when it comes to creating more buying opportunities, we don't do that good enough. How? Look at the sales that we have today. You have Valentine's Day coming up. There are so many promos being pushed at you. Black Friday is going to come, the same thing. Cyber Monday, so many buying opportunities. What are these brands doing? They are creating more opportunities for you to buy the same thing from them. Now, how can we leverage that as entrepreneurs to say, I want to use AI tools to create a strategy that can help me create more buying opportunities for the clients I already have. And if we look at it from that direction, there is no need for overwhelm. How can I use AI to generate leads? How can I use AI to convert those leads to clients or customers? And how can I use AI to create more buying opportunities for the clients I already have? So if we look at it in that light, it becomes, which tool can help me do this? If it is not any of those three, then you're just distracting yourself.
Wow.
It is a distraction, really. So DeepSeek, we're going to get to that, came out earlier this week. I'm sure tons of entrepreneurs are going to go there. And the question is, how is this thing generating leads for you? How is it converting leads to clients for you? How is it creating more buying opportunities for your clients? If it's doing none of those three things, you're just having a good time, right, with it.
And so I just want to repeat that. So for any entrepreneur that is thinking about, oh, I'm on ChatGPT, I heard Claude is good, you want us to go back to three things. Number one, does this tool help you generate leads? Does it help you maintain your existing leads, right? And does it create more buying opportunities? Did I get those three right?
Yes.
Okay, that is perfect, because for me as a tech consultant, I don't look at things from that angle at all. I look at it from the angle of people always want to find value for, and I think I'm going to segue to our next question. People always want to find value for what they're invested in with their businesses. And so my job in my newsletters that I send is, hey, here is what is available. Here, it is free, it is open source. I know you may have heard about it. It is worth checking out to see if it is up your alley. But then you're coming with your marketing background and experience to say, hey, here are the fundamentals. Does it do these three things differently from where you're coming from? If it does not, then it's probably not what the move, irrespective of the underlying models and the technology and all of the things that people are talking about. And so based on what you have said, then there is no, this one is better than this one. It's about what your business needs per time. So would you recommend free versus paid? Because for some of them available, most of them are almost exclusively paid. It's free. There are restrictions with how much you can do with it per day. So what are your thoughts, free versus paid?
I like the way you phrased it earlier to say, how does it change anything from you based on where you are right now and new things you want to do with it? It's so easy to get carried away with the bells and whistles.
Very easy.
That FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh, everybody is using Claude now. Why am I not there? But then if we place it on the benchmark for those three things, is Claude going to help me generate more leads in a different way than if I use ChatGPT? Will it do a different work of converting those leads to customers in a different way? If you can't see that clear value, then it's a thief of time. It truly is. And then when I say generating leads can come from creating content, can it give you more content ideas? Can it give you more ways to pitch to new clients, right? If there is no fundamental difference, I don't see the need to want to test things out just for the sake of it. Now, if a paid tool can give you that, then by all means go for it. If a free tool can give you that, I have an accounting background. I'm going to save costs. That would be it.
That makes it, because for me, I'm team free until I am pushed to pay. And a lot of new businesses are typically in that shoes. Existing businesses can easily say, okay, you know what, I've accounted for business software as an expense. But for new businesses, the free is always best, and they would not want to bring out paid if they're not able to see that direct value to generating more revenue. And I think it now takes me to the question about the thing about AI is that why I love how it has just lowered the barrier for a lot of things for small businesses, entrepreneurs, depending on their industries. The thing is, if it's not used right, everybody begins to sound the same. Where I'm able to see a LinkedIn post, I'm like, you used AI to generate this thing. So how can entrepreneurs leverage AI? I know we've talked about AI and not so much marketing. So maybe even this your answer, if you can just bring us back to marketing, that would be great, because I know we've focused heavily on AI. No, but before I go to that question, what is the bridge? Where does AI and marketing converge for entrepreneurs in 2025 and beyond? And then I can go to the integrating your brand voice and your brand identity perspective.
Absolutely. So I would take it from the perspective of how we are using it in our business today,
Okay.
AI, and I'll still link it back to generating leads, converting them, and creating more buying opportunities. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if we start from the generating leads, and it's a simple prompt, and I go into AI, whichever one you use, whether ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, Deepfake, Deep, whatever, whichever you use, and then I ask it, I tell the AI tool, and I say, this is my existing client. Which other segment or audience can I extend my services to that can help me reach this revenue in this year? Now, what AI does so perfectly well is connecting the dots. It has been trained on a large data set such that even the areas that I cannot think of, it is able to think of that. So I put that prompt into ChatGPT, and it opens up a totally new audience to me that I have never seen before. Right. So for example, at Liceau, we were purely a digital marketing agency. And then I did the same exercise at the beginning of the year to say, where am I leaving money on the table? We serve XYZ currently.
Mm-hmm.
Which audience can I look at? Can I extend these services to? I'm not starting anything from the scratch. And then it highlighted 1, 2, 3 audiences and said, you should consider this. And then I looked at it and said, you know what? My services perfectly fit this target audience. Why did I not think of this in the first place? So it has automatically opened up a new audience to me. I can now go into that and start generating leads for the business. So that's one way. It becomes my thinking assistant.
Mm.
I think AI becomes an issue when it leaves the position of the assistant and becomes the thinking brain. No, we cannot outsource thinking completely to AI. It's an assistant. It is an assistant. So that's one for the generating leads. If I move from that, from generating leads to converting those leads to existing clients. Now, for the existing entrepreneurs on the call, I'm sure we all have different ways that we use to generate leads for our business. Some of us run webinars, some of us run ads, some of us do pitching to corporations, to enterprises, depending on what kind of business that you do. But for me, I looked at it and said, you know what? I want to optimize the webinars that we do. We generate leads through webinars. What else can I do during those webinars, before or after, that can speed up the generation of clients from them? And it gave me like 5 different ideas. Will I follow all the ideas? No. Maybe one of them would look good enough to pursue. But then again, like I said earlier, the place that AI excels is connecting the dots, helping you to think outside of the box, things that you haven't considered before. It brings it up in your consciousness and you can pursue that. Now, let's go to creating more buying opportunities. The way AI is able to pull data from different industries and give you answer is mind-blowing. It truly is. So, for example, I go into ChatGPT and say, consider the retail industry. They always have one thing or the other coming up every day. They are always throwing something at us. How can I leverage the strategy of the retail industry to get my clients to buy more, or to get, or what are the areas where we can offer more value to them than what we currently are doing today? So for example, if the time we worked with you, we worked together with you to create your website copy, and then I go into ChatGPT and said, this client hired us to create her website copy. Examine the strategy of Zara, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
tell me, what else can I do in my business to get her to buy more, or to get her to bring us on board for more services? What are the areas where we can create more value for her? And then it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 answer. Again, AI is not the be all and end all of everything. It is a thinking assistant. It opens up new possibilities for you that you haven't thought of in any way. And we are talking AI, we're talking marketing. They are fundamental things, they are basic things, but we just overlook them a lot of time. So in summary, how can I use AI tools to convert those leads to paying clients, and how can I use AI to create more buying opportunities for the current client base that I have?
I like most of the things you've shared today because they are things that I can easily remember and go back to. And number one, the three things about in approaching any AI software platform, software as a service, AI to AI being a thinking assistant, and AI being fantastic at doing your market research and connecting the dots. And so a lot of people are coming into the year with saying, hey, this strategy did not work great last year. How can I do better this year? Or who have I seen that has done something fantastic and I love the strategy, but I don't quite know how to implement it to get there or even surpass that. And you shared really great gems on how people can do that. But then going back to what I was talking about, brand identity and brand voice, where how does one ensure that while leveraging AI as a thinking assistant and not a thinking brain, a content assistant and not the content, the connect using it as a research and connecting it does, how do we ensure that we're not losing our voice and sounding, because it's garbage in, garbage out with any of this thing. It's what it's been trained on that it works with. So if it's not coming out with your voice, people are able to see that disconnect. And I started seeing that in some way where when I first generated, I'm like, this does not sound like me. And then I have to clean that up and be like,
unlock opportunities. I'm like, ChatGPT.
No, but the thing is, most people use. So the thing is that then it has now cut off people that genuinely use those words. I remember Paul G. There was a guy on Twitter that got a lot of hell for it because he said every time he saw delve. But then there were people in certain parts of West Africa, they were like, before ChatGPT, these words are part of what we regularly use. And now everybody is bumped into that same category of, if I see these words or if I see this kind of formatting, it suddenly means you used AI. So how can entrepreneurs in 2025 and beyond integrate their brand voice, their brand identity, the unique selling proposition in how they are integrating AI in their business operations? Because AI is not just for prompting, it's also in business operations, in chatbots, in automated workflows, and so on. How can they do that without losing their voice?
That's such an amazing question, because increasingly the content that we see online is going to be maybe 90% AI generated. But how can entrepreneurs get out of that rut of sounding AI-ish, if there's a word like that? I would say train it with your data. As entrepreneurs today, we generate tons of data that we don't realize. So for example, let's take it from your content. That one is visible to everybody. You literally can copy your newsletters and feed it to AI and tell it, analyze these newsletters for tone, for cadence, for structure, and for style. Now, ongoing, write with that style. Now, what you have done is you've told the AI, this is how I normally would write. Every other thing that follows from here, write with that tone, write with that cadence. It will write the way you would open your sentences, the way you would close your sentences, the humor you would normally use in your sentences. It will infuse it for you. Now, that is the first step. Of course, there is still the editing part to say, it has generated this first iteration for me. How can I get this to be better, to sound more like me? But the biggest mistake is to go into AI and tell it, create a content calendar for me. It is so vague. So the first step is train that tool with your data. If you have videos, if you have blogs, feed it into the AI tool and tell it to analyze it and use that tone, that style going forward. It totally removes that part of, sounding ChatGPT or sounding AI-ish.
Thank you for that, because now that you mentioned that, I was writing something, I think, over the weekend, and then for the first time, because one of the deliverables that I got from working with you was I got a brand guideline document. I may never always remember to open it, but one thing I did was that I uploaded it and said, hey, leverage these guidelines in writing this. But then what I did not know before now was, you said that going forward, this thing that I've given you, going forward, every time I prompt you for something, always use that as point of reference, because the purpose of me signing up for this is for business. And if it's personal, I can always tell you that, no, do not leverage it for this time. And that's something that I did not even know, because for when I used it, I had to say to generate and say, no, use Techity brand voice, use Techity's guidelines in rewriting this. And immediately, like, the simpler language just came out. I'm like, there we go. So I just wanted to buttress that. I recently just started doing that, just because I've always been that person of, I don't want to sound AI-ish. But then I have now restricted and boxed myself out of it because I don't want to sound AI-ish. But then we're identifying that there can be a balance where you're not losing your voice, but at the same time, you're saving time and getting a ton of research. Because, for example, a lot of things I do is a lot of research as to what is the latest tools out there. What do I need to put my client on? Okay, if this tool has maybe increased their bill by 400% or 200%, there's some people that can afford it and some people that can't afford it. So that constant research to be able to say, what are the different options available depending on different revenues that different businesses have, is something that I'm always doing. So no, thank you for that answer. And then I wanted to just wrap us up with DeepSeek. So DeepSeek came out, apparently they've been around for about 2 years, but like they've been around, but like their beta open source model came out like last week. And I know when we were preparing for this call, I just said it's just so interesting that other platforms have released and said, oh, Gemini has even integrated this in our emails. Copilot has come and said, you must use me. And people are looking for how to opt out. Claude has come out, ChatGPT has come out with it, OpenAI has come out with theirs and different iterations. Some of them are even like more intrusive in their permissions. And we've said, you know what, it's so great, of course I'm going to give it. And then DeepSeek comes out with a free tool. And it's free, it's open source, it's available on web and mobile. And suddenly there's a lot of scrutiny. Okay, it came from China. That means my data is going to this party. Oh, it's the privacy policy says that they're counting keystrokes. Whereas people are like, all these other people are taking the exact same thing. And then today we wake up and hear that OpenAI is saying that DeepSeek stole part of their training data and algorithm. And I'm just like, guys, it's just January. We're all coming from a lot. And so it's, what are your thoughts about DeepSeek, and how can entrepreneurs ensure that in running their businesses, they are not working in a FOMO mindset? Because now everybody's, okay, I don't want to, I want to be on DeepSeek. So if somebody asks me, I'm like, oh yeah, I use DeepSeek. It's so cool. It does this and it does that. So what are your thoughts about DeepSeek? Have you tried it out? Are you like, I'm going to wait a bit, I want to read more? Because for me, I'm security, right? So I'm going to read the privacy policy. I'm going to read the security policy. I'm going to look at where are the servers hosted. Or, where did it come from? Who's hosting them? Like, but that's me. I love that rabbit hole. My entrepreneurs and my clients do not care for that. I do all of that research and come back and say, oh, you can go with that. And they do not know the rabbit hole I've gone into to be able to bring out that answer. So for you, from a marketing perspective, and for entrepreneurs positioning themselves, with DeepSeek coming out, and I'm sure DeepSeek is just the first of many that we'll hear this year.
Absolutely.
Just because so much has evolved when it comes to AI models and training and accessibility and costing. What are your thoughts?
You just nerded out on me, like in 3 minutes. It's so amazing to see you in your element, because someone like me, I don't read the privacy policy. I'm sorry. Yes, I have tried it out, or I registered for it. And the reason for doing that was, can it give me better strategy than ChatGPT or Claude will do? I haven't tried it out, even though I registered for it, but I think I will. Because if it's giving better responses than ChatGPT, the hallmark of every entrepreneur is innovation. We're constantly trying out new things. And you don't want to be a Nokia, for example. So Nokia, BlackBerry were the rave years ago. But because they didn't keep up with the times, the evolution, you never know when that big thing what that big thing could be, right? So I would say entrepreneurs, our curiosity drives us into the business in the first place. How can people's life be better? How can our services change people's life? That brought us into the business. And I think that would still drive us to check out those new tools and say, how can it create value for me? How can it create value for the business that I'm doing? So definitely, I wouldn't say people shouldn't check it out, but be wary of it becoming a distraction at the end of the day. It's still the same benchmark I use. Will this thing help me create better leads? Will it help me convert them to clients? Will it help me to create buying opportunities? If it is not significantly better than what I am using today, then I'm out.
Because another thing I was just, while you were giving your answer, was thinking about was that with moving to a new tool, then you're training it to sound like you, giving it data all over again. And like you said, that you do not think that it's not worth checking out, but they also have to remember that groundwork of feeding it with your information about you and what is going to be used for, so that it has a benchmark or a template that it's working with going forward. And so I'm going to ask you one bonus question before we round up. Because I'm not a marketing person. I'm the person in the systems and the automation and workflow person. Looking at 2025, what do you perceive are the trends with either AI or marketing, or AI and marketing in 2025 that is coming down the road? Because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are focused on one thing, and 1 minute they're like, oh my God, things changed overnight. And I do not know how to keep up with that. And I'm asking that question to say, okay, what do you foresee, just based on how things have evolved, is going to happen in 2025 and beyond, that entrepreneurs should just have at the back of their minds and plan for? But before you answer that, I know that one thing that has been happening is a lot of increased cost in software. A lot. And it's, even if a lot of them want to be relevant and are adding AI to it, with or without your consent. I talked about that earlier when you stepped away. But, and so I know that increased cost is not going anywhere. So business owners have to account for that in their forecasting and in their budget. But, you know, as I just wanted to talk the money part out of the way, but for you, from the foundational three things you've talked about: generating leads, converting those leads to clients, and generating more buying opportunities, what do you perceive are the trends in AI and marketing beyond that?
So we're talking about the things that will change, the trends, the forecast for this year in terms of marketing. And I really love that question, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we are always looking forward, right? We want to know what will change. But hardly do we think what would not change. What are the fundamentals that would never change? The good thing about this is, when you master the fundamentals, you would win in the market. When you master the fundamentals of marketing, you would win in the market. And the first one is, can you describe who your target audience is? Now, that sounds very simple on paper. Like, it sounds really simple, but truly it's not. Can you describe their pain, their fears, their dreams, their motivations, the things they are looking to achieve, in a granular way? Not, oh my target audience is a mom living in Georgia, Atlanta. She needs this and that. No. Can you describe that in a way that she cannot even articulate herself? Now, do you know the channels to reach her? Where is she? Where does she typically visit? Is she on? Because a lot of times we camp on Instagram and probably they are not even there. They are probably on Facebook, on LinkedIn, but the conventional wisdom says Instagram is taking over this year, video is taking over this year. That is the new thing coming in 2025, and you do that. But your target audience are not even there. And we are talking about the fundamentals now. Who are they? Where are they gathered? What is the offer? What is the unique solution that you're bringing to them in a way that they understand? Emphasis on in the way that they understand. Because I could need something, maybe a pen, and the way you are communicating that to me, it doesn't resonate with me. Truly, I need a pen. But the end point of that pen is to be able to write. I could use a pencil, I could use whatever, I could use my phone to write things now. But because you're not really clear about what is the real value that you're bringing to me, you make that error. An example I like to give this is, sometime, I think it was earlier in the century, and NASA used millions of dollars to solve a problem, right? The typical pen was not writing in space because of gravity. The ink cannot flow down to the mouth of the pen, and they used millions of dollars. And guess what? The Russians, guess what they did? What was the solution to that problem? They used the pencil.
Wow.
And that was it. It was less than $1. They literally used pencil to write in space. Now, how does this relate to us as entrepreneurs, to say, beyond saying these are the problems of my target audience, what job are they trying to do? What problem, like the granular problem, are they trying to solve? So, for example, you're not selling coaching programs, you're selling a transformation. they are at point A, they are trying to go to point B. If you're whatever product, services, whatever it is that you're selling, think about it in terms of what job are they trying to do that made them to hire me. For example, Uber. We don't take Uber just for the sake of it. We are trying to go from point A to point B. So they are solving the mobility issue or the convenience issue, right? So we must be able to pin down those fundamentals. Then and then can we say, okay, what is the next thing to do? Do I want to create videos? Do I want to create this? What is the need? Because I can give you 10 things that are coming up in 2025 for marketing. But the truth is, if you are able to nail the fundamentals, you would win in the market. Who is your target audience? Where are they gathered? And what is your unique offer that you're giving to them? They would pay you if you're offering a real solution that fills a need, a real need that they have. The real question is, or the real challenge is finding out what that real need is, because we can't get this through surveys alone. I think it was Ford that said if you asked people back then if they needed a car, we would say no. They would say we want faster horses or something. But it got to the root of the problem, which was people getting from point A to point B in a faster method. And it created a solution for that real need, right? So let's get the fundamentals in marketing. Who is our target audience? Where are they gathered? What is our unique solution in terms of a product or services that we are giving to them? And we will win. 2025, 2026, 2030, we would win. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was such a beautiful. I feel like maybe I needed this live more than anybody watching this replay, because it's just very digestible nuggets that I can easily, when I want to spiral down and say, oh, this is what is going on. Oh, this person has this program. Oh, this person has this offer. I should sign up. It's going back to which of these things does this fulfill?
Yeah.
Which of these things am I lacking, and does this fulfill that need?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for spending time with me today.
Here.
I know that people that will watch the replay will definitely have a lot to learn and to take away.
Absolutely.
So as we round up, anything new and exciting coming up with Liceau, where can they find you? Apart from, I think your Instagram is liceau.inc. But yeah, just wanted to round up with that.
Thank you so much. So for the next couple of days, I'm having discovery calls, 15 minutes. If you're an entrepreneur here, you're trying to create your marketing blueprint for 20, you want the no fluff. Trust me, I know what it is to have a lot of things on your hands. So the most of the entrepreneurs that I work with, you have a busy life, you're juggling a lot of things. So you don't need bluff strategies. You need things that actually work for your business, right? You need marketing strategies to work on that. We can connect in the 15 minutes discovery call. Actually, it looks, if I try to copy that link and put it here, it's going to log me out of.
Put it on the bio, so people please feel free to follow liceau.inc.
Yes.
And then after this live, the link to her 15-minute discovery call for entrepreneurs that are looking for help with their marketing blueprints.
Yeah.
Definitely get in touch with Joke of Liceau Inc. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining.
It's been such an amazing conversation.
Yeah. Same here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you everyone. Bye.